Imagine ending your day with a simple practice that can transform your life while you sleep. What if I told you that reciting a single powerful name of Allah just 10 times before sleeping could invite blessings and sustenance, risk, into your life by Fajr? This isn't a story or a superstition. It's a spiritually backed practice that has been shared by scholars and experienced by countless believers throughout generations. In the quiet moments before sleep, our hearts are most receptive, and our intentions carry immense weight. By dedicating a few minutes to this heartfelt remembrance, you're not just speaking words, you're consciously connecting with Allah's mercy, generosity, and infinite wisdom. Tonight, I'll guide you on how to perform this practice with sincerity, focus, and understanding, so that your heart opens to divine blessings and your life experiences the abundance that Allah promises. 1. Introduction to the practice. In Islam, certain names of Allah hold profound significance, each reflecting a unique attribute of His divine nature. Among these, some names are especially associated with mercy, provision, and spiritual elevation. Engaging with these names through remembrance or dhikr is not merely a ritual, it is a spiritual practice that strengthens the heart, nurtures faith, and opens channels of divine blessings. By reciting a specific name with mindfulness, one aligns their intentions with Allah's will, creating an inner state of receptivity for His guidance and generosity. The act of recitation is more than speaking words. It involves contemplation of the meaning and power behind the name. When a believer approaches this practice with sincerity, humility, and a clear heart, it fosters a deeper awareness of Allah's presence. This awareness, in turn, cultivates trust in His provision, instilling a sense of peace that transcends worldly anxieties. The spiritual connection formed through this practice is subtle yet transformative, offering a unique opportunity to draw closer to the divine. Moreover, the practice is accessible to everyone. It does not require elaborate rituals or material resources. What it demands is focus, devotion, and a heartfelt intention to seek Allah's blessings. Over time, consistent engagement with this name can serve as a source of spiritual resilience, encouraging believers to remain patient and grateful in all circumstances. Through this mindful recitation, one not only invites divine provision, but also strengthens their spiritual foundation, allowing the soul to experience tranquility, hope, and a profound sense of divine support in everyday life. 2. Number of recitations. The number of times a name of Allah is recited holds special significance in Islamic spiritual practices. In this particular practice, reciting the name 10 times before sleeping is recommended. This specific count is not arbitrary. Numbers in Islamic dhikr often carry spiritual weight, providing structure to the remembrance and creating a rhythm that helps the heart focus. Repeating the name 10 times allows the mind to settle into a meditative state, where the intention behind the words becomes as important as the words themselves. Consistency in the number of recitations is key. When a believer recites the name the prescribed number of times, it forms a disciplined spiritual routine that strengthens both faith and patience. Over time, the repetition becomes a gentle reminder of Allah's attributes and an anchor for the heart, especially during moments of worry or need. The rhythm of recitation enhances mindfulness, allowing one to internalize the mercy and generosity associated with the name being recited. It is also important to understand that the quality of recitation is as significant as the quantity. Saying the name 10 times with attention, understanding, and sincerity amplifies its spiritual impact far more than merely repeating it mechanically. This practice teaches the believer that spiritual benefits are maximized when intention and action align. By adhering to this specific count, the individual not only fulfills a recommended practice, but also cultivates patience, concentration, and devotion, qualities that enrich their spiritual life and invite divine blessings into both the heart and the circumstances of daily life. Ultimately, reciting the name 10 times is a manageable, structured way to engage in consistent remembrance, fostering a rhythm that both comforts the soul and attracts spiritual and worldly sustenance. 3. Timing. The timing of spiritual practices plays a crucial role in amplifying their effects, and in this case, reciting the name of Allah before sleeping carries unique significance. The period before sleep is a quiet, reflective time when the distractions of the day have faded and the heart is more receptive. Engaging in dhikr during this time allows the believer to end the day on a note of devotion and trust in Allah, setting a spiritual tone that can influence both sleep and the hours that follow. Nighttime recitation also aligns with the natural rhythm of the soul. As the body rests, the mind is often free from external engagements, creating an ideal space for sincere contemplation and connection with the divine. This tranquility enhances focus, enabling the individual to recite with mindfulness and internalize the meanings behind the name. The act of ending the day with remembrance reinforces gratitude for the blessings already received and invites divine sustenance for the coming day. Furthermore, performing this practice before sleeping creates a spiritual transition from the physical concerns of daily life to reliance on Allah's mercy. It serves as a reminder that provision and guidance are ultimately in His hands, encouraging a peaceful state of trust. By the time Fajr approaches, the recitation performed the night before has sown seeds of tranquility and receptivity, allowing the believer to awaken with a heart attuned to blessings and sustenance. This timing also emphasizes the importance of consistency and intentionality in spiritual routines. Nightly recitation becomes a habitual anchor, linking the end of the day with reflection, gratitude, and hope. Over time, this practice can nurture a deeper awareness of Allah's care, making the soul more sensitive to both spiritual and worldly forms of rizq. 4. Spiritual significance. The spiritual significance of reciting a name of Allah before sleeping lies in its ability to connect the believer directly with divine mercy and generosity. Each name of Allah reflects an aspect of His attributes, and by engaging with it consciously, a person draws closer to understanding and experiencing those qualities. This practice is not simply about seeking material sustenance, it is a holistic approach that nourishes the soul while simultaneously inviting blessings into one's life. Reciting Allah's name with intention fosters an inner sense of humility and dependence on the Creator. It reminds the believer that all provision and guidance come from Him alone, encouraging a mindset of trust and surrender. In a world filled with uncertainty and constant striving, such spiritual practices anchor the heart, offering reassurance that no effort is wasted when accompanied by sincere devotion. The act becomes a bridge between human effort and divine support, highlighting the harmony between faith and action. Moreover, the spiritual impact of this practice extends beyond personal benefit. Regular engagement with Allah's name cultivates a state of mindfulness that influences behavior, decisions, and interactions with others. The heart becomes more compassionate, the mind more focused, and the spirit more resilient. Over time, the believer begins to notice subtle transformations. Anxiety diminishes, gratitude increases, and an overall sense of divine presence permeates daily life. In essence, the recitation serves as a reminder that risk is not limited to material gain. It encompasses spiritual growth, emotional stability, and inner peace. By consciously engaging with this sacred practice, the believer aligns with divine wisdom, nurturing both worldly sustenance and the eternal nourishment of the soul. 5. Visualization focus. Visualization and focused intention play a vital role in maximizing the spiritual benefits of reciting Allah's name. When a believer recites with a clear mental image of their needs or aspirations, it helps create a strong connection between the heart, mind, and the divine. This is not about imagining outcomes as if they depend solely on human effort, but about directing heartfelt supplication toward Allah while trusting in His infinite wisdom and mercy. The practice transforms the recitation from mere words into a conscious act of devotion. Focusing while reciting allows the believer to cultivate presence of mind, a state in which the heart fully acknowledges Allah's attributes. By visualizing one's risk, whether it is sustenance, guidance, or solutions to challenges, alongside the repeated name, the mind becomes attuned to divine possibilities. This mental focus strengthens the sincerity behind each repetition, turning it into a powerful form of spiritual engagement rather than a mechanical routine. Additionally, visualization encourages believers to clarify their intentions and reflect on their needs in a purposeful manner. It teaches mindfulness, patience, and reliance on Allah, while subtly training the heart to remain positive and hopeful. The practice fosters a deeper emotional and spiritual alignment, where the individual feels personally supported and guided, enhancing both confidence and inner peace. Finally, the combination of focused attention and visualization amplifies the overall effect of recitation. By consciously picturing blessings while invoking Allah's name, believers create a spiritual resonance that opens the heart to divine generosity. This deliberate approach ensures that each repetition carries meaningful energy, making the recitation not only an act of worship, but also a practical tool for nurturing faith, clarity, and trust in Allah's provision. Thank you for watching. Remember, by reciting this beautiful name of Allah before sleeping with focus and sincerity, you are inviting blessings and risk into your life. May Allah fill your heart with peace, your nights with serenity, and your mornings with abundant sustenance. If this video inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe to Intellect Deen for more spiritual guidance. I encourage you to comment below with this prayer: O Allah, bless me with your mercy and abundant provision. Let's spread positivity and faith together.